What's going on, Moon Gang? Welcome back to another Dumb Money update for today, Thursday, July 22nd. Of course, we'll be going over AMC, GME, their technicals, the short interest, and all those data trends. But I really want to focus in this particular update on Citadel Securities, the market maker, delaying your orders. So with all that being said, let's hop right into it. AMC closed out the day at 37.24 and GME closed out the day at 178.85. The thing I want to point out to you here is these are two different stocks. You might be saying, hey, Matt, why do you have the same stock twice in two different blocks? No, this is AMC, this is GME. They just happen to look the exact same. Why do they look the exact same? Because everyone's treating them the same. Retail, hedge funds, market makers, two different stocks, two different indices, two different business sectors, and yet they're being treated the exact same because right now that's what's going on. This is a giant cultural movement of the apes versus the hedgies, and that's why we're seeing the exact same thing in both of these stocks. Before we get into that, let me kick it off here with AMC. So AMC, previously we had the George W, the parabolic arc, and really just the oversold RSI, and it bounced off of 32 all the way up to 46. And today it came back down to roughly 37, and it was essentially catching itself at the low from June 3rd. What I'm looking forward basically tomorrow is I want, as soon as possible, a recapture to 40.42. That's a clear region of resistance. I want to recapture that and once again test 46. The closest support as of now is actually back down here around 33.50. That's the main support I'll be watching to close out the week tomorrow. In terms of its Vortex numbers, pretty interesting day. They borrowed 6.38 million shares against it. These shares went on loan. So if you're questioning why did AMC go down today? Well, it looks like it was shorted and they returned 4.59 million, which means the net was 1.78 million. And thus the short interest is 14.64%. Overall, the utilization is 83% and the shares on loan 92.74 million. Recently, the shares on loan has dropped a little bit, but utilization took a bigger hit. The reasoning for that, to explain this mathematically, remember what utilization is. It's the amount of shares on loan being borrowed divided by the total loanable shares. The fact that this dropped a little bit, but utilization dropped by even more, tells me the total pool of all loanable shares actually increased. So that's more of, I guess, a good time for a quick reminder. If you own shares of AMC, GME on any brokerage, it might, I can't tell you what to do, but if you don't want your shares lent out, you might want to turn off your share lending if possible. Let's talk about GME. GME, very similar chart as always with AMC. Recently, we bounced off of 163, came up, got rejected at 190. Right now, we're at 178. We want it to recapture the 180 to 185 region and then make a run at 200. And as of now, the closest support is around 164, maybe a little bit higher, maybe something going on at 175, a little bit of a key psychological level. In terms of GME, today there was a net borrow of 147,000 shares, short interest of 14.54%, utilization 39%, and shares on loan 7.71 million. So that's your very quick rundown of AMC, GME. Let's talk about Citadel Securities delaying your orders. So right here, this is from FINRA, otctransparency.finra.org, and you can see what's going on. Remember, non-ATS, it means non-dark pool. There's three types of venues, three types of main venues: exchanges, dark pools, and non-dark pools, OTC, think market makers. So right here, non-ATS, it's not an exchange, but it's also not a dark pool. This is for the month of May. Why am I showing you May? Because it's the most recent month that was actually reported, and this is the total amount of shares traded for AMC. Between the duopoly of Virtu and Citadel Securities, 1.2 billion shares were traded by them. Very, very strong indication that this was actually being related to, if I had to guess, payment for order flow. That's why they got so many of these trades, because so many brokers in the world are sending their trades to Citadel Securities and Virtu. That is payment for order flow. Basically, these two market makers are paying your brokerage a fee and they send the order directly to them. From there, they're doing that because they think they could trade better and basically make money and be profitable. So they decide if they want to take the trade, and if not, then they can pass it off to an exchange or dark pool or really do whatever they want with it. But right here, I'm just trying to highlight the fact of how involved these two market makers truly are in the trading of AMC. And this is why it's important. Recently, we've been talking a lot about payment for order flow, and I will make a standalone video on that, potentially even an interview with an expert. But more so, I want to talk a little bit about what people have been talking in reference to delaying your orders. I hear this being said a lot, and I just want to show you something I found. Granted, this is from July 2020, but it's not the most recent thing, but I just want to tell you like what I found. US regulator finds Citadel Securities over trading breach. The U.S. financial industry regulator has fined Citadel Securities $700,000 for trading ahead of customer orders. I'm going to have two main questions here. My first question is, okay, that's what they were fined. I want to know how much this actually profited them. If I just had to guess, theory, tinfoil hat time, I'm betting that they made more than $700,000 on it. So I don't think it was more of a speeding ticket situation. But once again, that's just a tinfoil hat theory. Citadel Securities delayed certain equity orders from clients to buy or sell shares while continuing to trade the same stock in its own account as part of its market making activities. The market maker removed hundreds of thousands of large OTC orders from its automated trading process, according to FINRA. That rendered the orders inactive, and so they had to be handled manually by human traders. This is what prompted the delay. So my question here, we all know this concept of delaying orders, and I'm hearing, I don't know, T6, T12, T35. My second question, beyond the fact of how much money did they make, I want to know what this delay is. Are we talking portions of a second, seconds, minutes, hours, days? Right here, it doesn't say in this article. And so yes, right here, we have proof Citadel Securities has been caught for delaying orders. My question is how long was the delay? Because it seems the community, that's the question right now, is how long can they possibly delay it for? Based on this review of 559 instances, Citadel Securities traded ahead of 415 inactive OTC customer orders. 415 out of 559, an incredible majority. So this isn't one of those like one-off things where, okay, we did it once, it was a mess up by a manual human trader. No, it was an abusive policy that they employed at Citadel Securities. But wait, there's more. And a different thing, this is in reference to FINRA's requirement for displaying orders. The bulk of the violations were for failing to execute trades against existing quotations in a timely manner. So right there, that's another thing. What do they mean by timely? Once again, are we talking portions of a second, seconds, minutes, hours? I want to know, is it days? So between timely manner, it being delayed, I just want some actually concrete numbers to know what we're doing. And I also really want to know how much money they made off of it, because I have a sneaky suspicion that this is a bit more of a speeding ticket than anything else. So overall, that's what I have for you today. If you happen to have information of what's going on with that $700,000 fine, did they make more? Especially the delayed and the timely words. If we can get some more concrete information on that, I would love to share that with the rest of the community. And of course, if you have any thoughts on AMC and GME, let me know in a comment below. Until I catch you next time, from me and Chair, best of luck in the markets.